All right, so onto the plow installation. This book tells you how to assemble the plow assembly. This book tells you how to put the mounting bracket that's specific for this quad on, and then how to attach the plow to this bracket. And you'll notice that the plow, it says it came in 2 boxes, right? This stuff was in a box, and this stuff was in the box. And this is actually the universal mount for any ATV, where you would use those sliding things to put these bigger U-brackets in and just kind of make a universal fit. So we'll end up with some extra parts when this gets assembled, but I think the important part is just do this by the book. We'll get the mount on, put the plow together, and then follow this as it tells you what to do. We can kind of see under here the way it mounts, right? We have a skinny and we have a wide, and that's going to be the front. So our skinny side is going to go like this, with the tapered part facing the rear of the quad. Yeah, so, and then we'll follow the directions and where U-bolts go, and like this thing bolts on it somewhere on the other side, I think. Should I show that on the back page? Yeah, so you can kind of see how this goes together. So wide side like this, and this guy actually bolts on like that. But I think it has to go over a frame. You have to bolt it on while it's underneath. So we'll go through it and find out. Okay, so the picture's dark and kind of grody, but I'm kind of figured out. So this is the front, right? You come up and you have these ribbed sections. Well, this is the ribbed section this plate fits over like this, and it has some holes right here and here. So these holes on this side are for the truss bracket they're talking about, and then this hole is the one that lines up here, and it says to put the 5/16 through it first. Now this thing, let's save that washer for the top, super tight, right? But that's why we have tool number 2. 1 is a hammer, 1 or 2, I don't remember. Okay, so let's get these 1/4 inch ones in place. It looks like we're gonna have to do some drilling. This one was manufactured 11/05. So, oops. Remember, we have the bolts going out so they don't get in the way of stuff. Nuts on top. It's entirely possible that, even though this is titled a 2006, I might have some strange differences where maybe a plate for an 05 would have worked better. It's kind of an obscure thing where they only had a couple of years where this plate works, and 06 through something was one of them. So yeah, we'll find out. It's okay, because right, like everything's lining up, it's gonna plow, right? So we'll just have to watch this A-arm. It almost looks like it's not centered. Maybe it's supposed to be like that. I mean, it's centered on this, that's what's important, but like right here, there's no hole for this side of the U-bolt, so we're gonna have to drill that out. Let's see if we can get the other U-bolt in place without drilling, and then this is where that, over here, this hole is where that plate would have gone, but when I push this up through, it's not centered right on that hole. So having this guy there isn't actually going to help us any. I think if I have a bigger washer, I'll use a bigger washer on top with the nut so that it just has a little more grip. And then U-bolt. Let's do it backwards to see. Yeah, it should be here. And same thing, that side's going to need to be drilled. So what we're going to do is get these tightened up, and get these 2 tightened so the whole thing is just in place. And then we'll drill holes for the U-bolts before putting those in. nice to have an angled wrench. Maybe I go from the other side again. Come on. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do this side first, and you can see right there how that hole's kind of near the edge. So I have a nice, here's the original washer. This is the same ID, so we're gonna go ahead and toss that. We don't need it, but this is a big, nice, thick, hardened one. And a fender washer that's oversized, but that'll keep it nice, I guess. So we'll push this through, get those stacked on, get it tightened up. We just need more hands. Beautiful bulb, right? So I like that a lot better than the alternative, which would be trying to drill out like a squishy thing to put in there. And realistically, with the U-bolts that are going to go over the frame rail, that's all going to work out just fine. Just got to drill those next. Really? Oh, I can't see it. It's like we're right there. Come on, you butthead. It's like right at the edge. Yep. Well, it wants to go through. They actually need to do a little bit bigger hole because it's at an angle. Oh, what a pain. And the quad needs to go higher. So I have a lot more space. Oopsie. Why did you come out? Oh well, that should be good now anyway. Let's see. There. Yep, okay. So get a little paint sprayed up in there. At least help keep it from rusting for a little while. I hope. Yar, nice. Let's see. Size are those? This size. Shit, didn't work. Let's see. Yeah. All right, one more over there, and we won't have to come back underneath till we attach the plow. It's exciting. Oh, I feel so old. How close is it? I can't tell. My luck, it's going to be like right through the frame instead of lining up. I hope not. Ooh, yeah, that must have been the frame. Snap that bit to bits. Son of a bitch. All right. Oh, that sucks a lot. That sucks a lot. Well, oh, it was just starting to poke through too. Oh, that's awful. So hopefully I can get some pliers in there and back that out. Just get another bit and have at it, but we'll see. Cool, well, at least that came out. Now, let's get another bit. Come right in front. Actually, yeah, we can't do it like that. I don't want to not have any, because there's the hoop's there for a reason, right? If they really didn't need it, they wouldn't have added it. So I find a sharp bit again. God, nothing's ever easy. I'm looking up here at how far out that is. So this is kind of parallel-ish. I kind of want to and just come in so that it's tight against the frame. That should work. Nice center. And then we can, if this fits nice and snug, once the hole's in, we can make our other hole based on it. We just gotta be a little careful. So we have a coolant line right there that bracket's actually gonna have to go underneath. So I'm gonna have to pop this little clip off and, you know, move things out of the way, but we'll see. Okay, so with that hole in place, should be able to take the center punch and line up U-bolt parallel, right? Because we know we put it in from above. It's pretty close. I think it's in a good spot. So rough. Oh, is one side longer than the other? No, it's just weird. That looks about parallel, right? So you do a, oh damn it. Oh no, I can see the edge of it. So right there ought to work. Double check it. Centered. So there's that hole. It's quite a bit further over than this one, so we should be good. Got worried for a minute. Forgot I'm drilling through the skid plate there too. So it took a little longer, but B-U-T-T. Where's my, ow, shit. I mean, it sucks drilling upside down now. Everything's covered in chips. So I got the two nuts. Where'd the, ow, ah, there's one in my hand. Got it. Well, let's see where the U-bracket went. Alright, so it says right here, tighten the bolts from the center out. This step of the install takes the most time. So I think that part takes the most time because the drilling, but you know, this is separate from the mount, so we'll see. So it looks like the bolt side of the blade attaches with a longer part below it. Yeah, I'll get all the bolts hand tight. We'll take a look. So when they say this part takes the longest, it might, because these are in a position where you can only get to them with an open end. I can't even fit a ratcheting end over it. There's not enough clearance. So did the middle one, I'm gonna do from the middle out, like it says in the instructions, and then we'll move on. Yeah, next step is these skids. They go on the back, and you know, some people adjust them so that their blade isn't rubbing directly on the pavement. We're not. We want to rub on the pavement and scrape everything nice and flat. So we're gonna skip it. So yeah, plus this thing, it's not gonna get enough use to wear that blade down in a couple seasons, so I'm really not worried about it. Thick pages. List of hardware, and oh my gosh, look at that mess. Okay, so I know that one's metal, and 28 metal spacer, 27 plastic spacer. So metal, plastic, bunch of bolts with number 8, a lock washer. Is that bottom piece threaded? Oh yeah, there's already nuts in it. Okay, that'll be easy. We got an because this goes, here's that, here's that, here's that. You have the bottom piece, and then number 34, slotted top plate. I don't see it, unless it's still in the box. Or did I put it somewhere stupid? Right? Shit. I hope it has all the parts. Hope it's not missing a part. It'll be a minute. Yeah, here it is. This is what lets it angle, right? It was over in the box that I almost threw in the fire the other night. So we would have found it out in the pit with all the paint stripped off, weakened and fatigued. So good thing we didn't. I wonder though, oh, the bolts must go through the center of this. And then this slides on that nylon in between the two that gets sandwiched. Huh, we'll find out. Okay, yep. That's good. Okay, so next they have a shoulder bolt that goes through here, and then there's a spring that holds that weird bracket down. So far, everything for each set of instructions has come in its own bag, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, that has to do with forward tilt stuff. We'll worry about that next. One thing at a time. Which looks like it's probably this shoulder bolt they're talking about, and this spring. Yeah, looks like it. I should get the right size wrenches first. Oh, it goes over the bolt. Okay, that makes sense. It goes over the bolt head. That would help hold it. And the next set of bolts are actually a stop for the plow. So the back edge of the plow will hit this when it springs around. Oops. Like that. And it says it recommends starting on the bottom hole which looks like it's kind of a middle setting. We'll just take their advice, right? We'll probably find that we don't need to worry about it. So finally get to attach the plow. It's got this stack of washers that go through these holes. You know, not super tight, but it doesn't need to be. It needs to make sure that I can pivot, so when you hit things, it bounces on the springs and hits the stops. Okay, this is the last step before it goes to the generic mounting stuff, and that's to attach these springs. Hooks down at the back. Should be an eyelet at the top. And some sticks. Looks like a washer, and then 2 nuts. So you can lock in the position you want through that plate on the top. Now there was one dude said these springs broke on him in pretty short order, so that was some reviews. I don't know if he was abusing it or if they really were crappy, but it's easier to do the other way, I think. Put it through there, and then we'll tighten them up. So it just says tighten till taut. So, and then if to tighten it more, if the blade trips, I've never used a snow plow before in my life, so I don't know what blade tripping is. What I gotta guess is that if the front of the blade catches on something, right, it's gonna pull back, it's gonna push the front forward, and the springs are supposed to keep it from, you know, doing damage. But if it's constantly banging on stuff, then I can tighten these up so it can't pop open or pop its angle down funny as easily. So really, I'll just use their advice and let this gap. All right, so it's got tension in it. That should be good. We probably want them to be even. Okay, so last part, it just goes in place with these 2 pins, and you hook up the winch. And it looks like they're attached right at, not at the front bolts, at the ones closest to the taper. Yeah, the ones in the back. So we use the holes in the back and just see how it goes. See how close that is. A little too far to the rear. No. Oh man, she's heavy. Oh, there's one side. That should make the other side go easier. Well, I ran out of memory card and it shut me off, so I don't know where we left off, but I got 1 pin in and this side is being obtuse. Let me get a light. What about? Oh, is it up here? No, those are gloves. Oh, I see it. Fucking land pirates making all kinds of racket out there. Okay. Let's see. Is that hole janky? I can't see. No, it doesn't look like it is. Let's take the other side off. I hate to do this, but we gotta make sure these actually work. God, I'm getting pain in my ass. It's total ass pain. Yeah, they don't fucking line up. Those would never go together. Oh, look at these jackasses. Alright, well, let me get my drill. Okay, so stuff like this happens because they clearly drilled these plates. Like this one's bent up and this one's welded on. So they drill this welded one before they weld it. So instead of having a rig that drills one hole at the same time, they drill them together and their little welding thing doesn't line up properly anymore. So let's get this in here because this is a pin size. Just ream it out some, and of course I left my pin on the bench. There we go. That's better. Alright. Other side, and then the winch. And then the winch goes in that hole. Good opportunity to try to wire this out. I don't know. I think that blade angle is steep. I don't know what it should look like. So we could get it further back if we move those bolts back a hole. So maybe I'll do some plowing research and see what it should be like, but who knows. Wow, are you that heavy? Look at, did you see the front of that thing? And then one thing I wanted to watch for is the, so we don't need it that high, but yeah, it works. Now we just need it to snow. Maybe that'll happen in like 3 months. The idea being, because the plow's on, no, it won't snow. So let's hope for it. I did some quick reading on the old interwebs, and we want the blade vertical, right? And those are there because if you're at different heights, right? So I moved them to the rearmost setting, retension the springs, and we're relatively vertical. At least it's not tilted forward like it was before. So the guys are saying if it is already tilted forward, it makes it easier for this edge to catch and trip. So we'll find all this stuff out once we're out plowing, and then looking at this even more. This thing, I don't think this strap's gonna last unless we like zip tie it away when it's not in use. So maybe I'll take that off of there, because really we're not going to need it unless we're actually on a trail and think we're going to get stuck, right? I'll just make it easier to pull on. But either way, I'm satisfied. Looks pretty good. Should, if it was light out, go push some leaves around just for funsies, but no point.